Coming up next is Dr. Kimberly Taylor. Here's your chance to talk about what matters to you. Although you will receive helpful advice from Dr. Taylor, remember, this is not to be construed as a form of psychotherapy, diagnosis, or treatment, and cannot replace a therapeutic relationship with a mental health professional. You can reach Dr. Taylor by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290. You can also listen live on the internet at drkimtaylorshow.com. So here now is Dr. Kimberly Taylor.
Hi, I'm Kim Taylor, and I welcome you to our program. I'm a clinical psychologist here in sunny and warm Santa Barbara, and this is the hour each Thursday afternoon between 2 and 3 that is dedicated to you. It's a place to talk about what's on your mind and to let you share what is happening in your own life. So here we are in the very first week of September. This is the time of year for many transitions. Summer is ending, school is beginning. It's time to go back to more schedules and deadlines. Our kids are going off to college, and parents are quite possibly dealing with the empty nest challenges as the family shifts and makes way for the changes ahead. Our lives are all about transition and change. From the moment of our conception to our last breath, we are in a constant state of change. Yet, if I were to say the word change, how do you feel? Most people get really anxious and uncomfortable just thinking about change, even if the upcoming change could be a positive experience. Those who choose to make a change are far better equipped than those who are forced to make a change due to an unwanted event like divorce or a breakup, moving away and leaving friends, maybe a disability or illness, a loss of a job, or even the death of a spouse or loved one. Transitions are times of crossing from something old and familiar to something new and unfamiliar. And in order for a transition to begin, we must always have an ending. But endings are what's difficult for most people. Transitions challenge us to grow and sometimes even forces us to accept what is and to try to find the silver lining in the change we have to face. So what are you facing at this time? What are you dealing with in your life today? And what are the transitions that you are going through? I want to talk about the changes you're facing, or actually anything else that's on your mind. This is your place. It's a place that we talk about you, and it's through your sharing that you can get help to traverse the changes in your own life, and others will also benefit by hearing your story as it may be similar to theirs. So why don't you get on the phone and call me? You can reach me at 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290. You can also send me an email at drkim at Dr. Kim Taylor Show, and we will try to answer those on the air. So we will be right back after the break to take your calls. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290.
You are listening to Dr. Kimberly Taylor. You can reach her by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290.
Hi, we're back, and we're on the air with Steph. Steph, hi.
Hi.
What's on your mind?
Okay, so my son, who's older, he's 28 years old, has a girlfriend who's about 6 years older than he is, and I am having a hard time with their relationship. We're a very close family. And my question is, should I say anything to my son about my misgivings of his girlfriend, or should I just keep my opinions to myself?
Why is their relationship a problem for you?
Well, I would say that, as I said, we're a very close family. And a lot of my misgivings are a little bit about their age range, but also because of the way she acts when she's around him, toward me and toward my son's sister, who I think she's a little competitive with. and she's very, very possessive of him and a little too affectionate in front of us, and the whole thing just kind of irritates me, so I feel uncomfortable.
Okay. But why are you uncomfortable? It sounds like she is affectionate with your son. Does he respond to that? Does he like that?
He likes it a lot.
Okay,
yes.
so this particular girlfriend probably knows that you and the rest of the family question her motive. She's 6 years older. She probably feels a little bit uncomfortable. So she may be expressing more affection as her way to stay connected to him because she doesn't feel close to you and or his sister.
Perhaps. However, it's not like we wouldn't want her to be close to us. It's just sort of there's this wall.
Okay, so why do you have that wall? Let's first look at your wall.
Okay.
Why do you have a wall? Why are you not allowing yourself to be closer to her or more accepting of her?
I would just simply say that, as polite as we are with one another, there doesn't seem to be an open door. Personal questions like, I don't know, how's your career going, or what's going on next week, or whatever, are skirted. There's just a lot of diffusion. There's not much intimacy.
And you're talking between you and her?
Yes.
Okay. What keeps you from taking her out for lunch and saying, hi, why don't we go shopping? Why don't we go to a movie? Why don't you get to a point where you can be closer or to create more of a bond with her if that's what you feel is missing?
Well, good question.
Yeah. Why,
Steph?
They live
out of town, not too far, but they live out of town.
Steph, why don't you like her?
Why don't I like her? Because she's rude to my daughter and not comfortable with me.
Okay. But right now what you're saying is that she may not be comfortable with you because you don't like her and she's picking that up.
That could be true.
Okay. Your son obviously doesn't come to you and say to you, I think she's rude. I think she's insecure. She's always clinging to me. Correct?
No, he has not complained about her.
Okay. And has your son had a bad habit of picking the wrong women?
No, actually.
Okay, so you actually trust your son's judgment?
Generally, yeah.
Okay, and he has a good head on his shoulders?
Yeah.
Okay, and so don't you think some of these things are just going to pan out in their dating? That's what dating's for, is to figure out whether things work. It's not just that they are physically attracted to each other at the start. It's that they have to go through the process of learning, is this a good fit for all of us? Does it work within my family? Does it work within both of our plans? How come you're not willing to let that process just naturally happen?
Yes, I am. But it's been over a year now, so kind of, I guess my fear is if I don't speak up now, it's like forever hold your peace. I didn't know about the timing, and I guess that's why I was turning to you.
Okay, but he is 28 years old, and he gets to pick his own partners.
Right, but what if somebody just doesn't feel like they're going to fit in? Don't you think you should say something?
No, because it is your job as parents to allow your children or child to pick who is a good match for them. You aren't going to be living with her. Yes, she may become a part of the family, and at that point in time, you're going to have to find out what your son sees in her and to accept her in that way, because by you pushing her away, what's going to happen is you're going to push your son away.
True.
You have to trust in his ability to work this out on his own. If there are not grave concerns or something that you think that you know that he is not aware of, you have to let it go and let it run its natural course.
So if they're still dating in another year,
If they're still
And it's gotten a
dating
lot
in
more
another
serious.
year, then it must mean that your son is seriously considering that this is his life partner. This is the person that he has chosen to build his life with. And if you want him in your life, you better find something that you like about her.
Okay. All right. Well, I will bite my tongue and bide my time.
Okay. Good luck.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Taylor.
I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. Okay, this is Kim Taylor, and we're on the phone with Martha. Hi, Martha. How can I help you?
Yes, I'm having a family problem. My older sister is suing our family regarding my mother's estate, and she's a few years older than me. I have two brothers, and I believe she has Asperger's syndrome, and she's never had friends her whole life, and on top of it, she's just very hateful to everybody, and it's costing us a lot of money, and she continues to call my mother and harass her and harangue her on the phone. And I'm at the point where I just realize that, hopefully when this lawsuit is all over, that she just will be out of my life and I'll never have to deal with her anymore.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's causing so much stress in my family. Neither of my brothers is speaking to me now. My mother has made me the co-trustee of her estate, and so they're upset about that she's chosen me to be in charge. And so I almost feel like I'm losing all three of my siblings.
Why are they all so angry that you are the one that is in charge of this?
Because for a while my older brother was in charge, and then my mother took it away from him.
Why?
Well, she felt that he was being too pushy in terms of, I think he wanted to move in with her into her house and take care of her there, and she decided she didn't want that she'd rather, live there on her own and just hire people to care for her. And my brothers were arguing a lot, so she chose my younger brother, and then after a while she didn't trust what he was doing with the finances,
Mm-hmm.
and so she asked me to step in, and
Okay.
I basically, it's taking over my whole life now, but I'm doing the best I can to get everything in order. And
Okay. Martha, how old are you?
I'm 60.
Okay. And your brothers are younger or older?
One's a year younger and one is a year older, and then my sister is 2 years older than I.
Okay. So did all of this start at the death of your father when this was brought up, or has this always been the family dynamic?
She actually decided not to speak to my two brothers when they were teenagers. And she, has never had any friends, and, wouldn't attend family events. And if she did, she'd always, find a reason to leave mad. I was getting along with my brothers, until all this happened. And I guess it was about a year after my father died when she just got a lawyer and demanded to, see all the finances. I mean, she could have just asked our lawyer for them, but she decided to go out and hire her own lawyer and approach it that way.
Okay, and are your brothers with her in this, or is it just her?
No, it's her against all of us, basically. She's claiming that we're financially abusing my mother, which is absolutely not true, but...
Okay. So part of your question is, what should be your plan, and how are you going to go forward trying to move through this with your sister who is having a problem with this, and your brothers who are upset that you are the one that's in charge right now?
Yes.
Have you been able to at least talk to your brothers about what is going on for you and how you feel about this?
The communications that I get from them are just so hurtful, and basically they're telling lies, and since I stopped communicating with them about a month ago, I actually feel better because I'm not getting these emails that just floor me from the things that they say to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm sure you've talked to your mother about this?
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay, and what does she tell you that she would like to have done?
Well, she's, quite upset that it's costing so much money. We have basically 5 lawyers defending the estate, and I guess she doesn't really mind talking to my sister, but it's upsetting to her because my sister always has basically an attack in her voice. My mother wants people to visit her, so she, kind of tolerates my brothers, but
Okay, Martha, what it sounds like is part of this is the fact that you feel like these things are just being done to you and that you have to take it.
Mm-hmm.
So it perhaps would make you feel better if all of these people are going to be upset with you because your mother has asked you to step in because she wants you to be the one that is responsible, then to go ahead and own that. Do what you know is right for you, that your brothers are not going to be happy. They feel rejected by your mother.
Mm-hmm.
They feel that that your mom has actually slighted them and, in fact, favors you, so they're going to be upset with this.
Yeah.
But you have to have a plan about how you're going to deal with this, because you can't really work with someone like your sister who is not willing to work with you. That's probably going to just have to go through the lawyers, because she's not going to be reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
It might be helpful to talk to your mother and ask her if she can talk to your brother so that you can all come and try and be on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
But she's really put you in a very difficult place here.
Yes, she has.
And you might want to think about whether you want to stay in that place or whether it would be best to maybe hire someone else. Because there's a family dynamic that's being played out here, and you're right in the middle of the big mess.
Yes.
What do you want to have happen at the end of all of this?
Well, I'd like to at least have a civil relationship with my brothers, and I'd like to never have to deal with my sister again.
Okay. Okay. Then you really need to take care of yourself through this, to act as a civil person would.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let them walk all over you. Don't let them, just because they're saying these mean and nasty things about you, be about you. It is about them and their feelings and their hurt from their mother.
Mm-hmm.
But don't take it on. Tell them that's between you and Mom. If you're upset, that's between you and Mom.
Mm-hmm.
But to help yourself separate from some of this so that you're not under the burden and in the middle between you and your other siblings and their mother.
Yes. It almost seems like it's a lifelong thing where she kind of plays people against each other, and then...
Oh, and she did that royally here, to take this away from one brother and say, nope, I don't like the way that you're handling it, so I'll give it to the next one, and then take it away from him, and then to give it to you. She is definitely doing that.
Yeah.
But I think that the question needs to be, do you want to play that game? Perhaps you might need to think about this, and maybe you need to be out from under it too.
Yes. Yes, I have contacted a company that might take over some of the management, and I'm willing to do that.
Okay, because what will help is to have someone more objective who doesn't have a personal stake in this, and who is not wrapped up in the family dynamics.
Right.
And that might be the only way that you can come out of this and still have that civil relationship that you're looking for.
I see. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me.
Okay. Thanks for your call.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290.
You are listening to Dr. Kimberly Taylor. You can reach her by calling 564-1290 or toll-free at 866-564-1290.
We're talking about working our way through transitions in our life, and whether it's through the changes in families or changes in friendships. The problem is when we refuse to accept a transition, or when we become too afraid of what lies ahead, then we prevent ourselves from moving forward because we desperately try and cling on to the way things used to be. Life is all about change. Get on the phone. Let's help you make your transitions in your life. Hi, this is Kim Taylor, and we're on the phone now with Charlie. Hi, Charlie. How can I help you today?
Hi, Dr. Taylor. Thanks for taking my call. I really appreciate it. It's hard to know exactly where to start, but I had a work associate who turned into a fairly close friend over the course of about 12, 13 years or so. We had worked on many huge projects, had gotten along really well, and over the course of the last project that we had focused on, things just started to fall apart. He kind of lost it, and when it came to seceding from...
Okay, what does that mean that he lost it?
Well, when it came to seceding a certain amount of authority, he just couldn't do it, even though he was specifically told that it was needed to happen to make the project work.
Okay, so what is the problem that you're having with it now?
Well, this is all, it's sort of been all said and done for about a year or so.
But it sounds like you're still really in a lot of pain around this.
I am. I was in tremendous amount of pain once he basically decided he wanted to end the relationship, as well with other friends that we had in common.
Okay, so what is really going on right now is that you are just missing your friend, the friend that you used to know, the friend prior to all of this business going on, that you're missing your friend.
Terribly.
Okay, and have you ever reached out to him on that level? Just a friend?
Not since he cut me off, no.
Okay.
He more or less drew a line in the sand and just basically disappeared. Had nothing more to want to do with me or my other friends.
That you really tried to be his friend throughout all of this, even through all of the business dealings, even though when you knew that he was maybe acting in a way that was not professional, but that you tried to maintain that friendship with him because you cared about him.
Yes, of course.
And even with that, he was not able to see that. He just continued to blame you or to tell you that the problem was yours. What do you need to do for yourself to be able to forgive and to be able to let go of this?
I mean, I've got, my wife so many times has told me I would never leave a friend like that no matter what.
But Charlie, you didn't let go. He did. You would be there for him, but he let go.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He did. You did not pull out. He did. And he used you to blame you because he knew that you would take the blame, that you would feel bad, so he could walk away from this feeling right. There is something that you do need to learn in this, is that you can't play both parts of the friendship. Somebody else has to be there, be willing to be there with you, to care about you, to be able to listen to you. That when you don't have that, it's rather one-sided. And to keep trying to hold on to a relationship when the other person isn't there for you and doesn't care about you is something that you need to be able to let go of. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. Hi, this is Dr. Kimberly Taylor, and we're on the phone with Sally. Hi, Sally. How can I help you today?
Hi, Dr. Taylor. I'm calling because I work for a company, and recently someone has resigned, and I've been doing a lot of their work, and I haven't been compensated for it, and I'm wondering how to sort of approach the situation.
Okay. What keeps you from walking in the door and saying just that?
Well, my boss and a couple of the other people that are high up, they're really hard to talk to. They're very smart people, but their communication skills are kind of poor. It's like a tech company, so they're really, really smart in some ways and not so much with just sitting down and talking. So I want to feel more prepared.
Sally, you've just told me about them, but what is it about you that keeps you from talking to them?
Well, I guess I just am nervous that they're going to say that, oh, well, that's your job and you've just been sort of helping out, so thanks for that. And
okay, so what you're feeling is that you're wondering about your value and if you're good enough to ask for a raise, to be compensated for the work that you're doing.
I think I'm good enough, but I don't know if they think that.
Okay, so what you're saying to me is that what they think about you right now is more important than what you're thinking about yourself, that you're more worried that they're going to think something negative, and so it keeps you from speaking up.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So does this feel like something that has happened before? Do you tend to not speak up sometimes when you think somebody else will be upset or won't like it?
Well, I am a people pleaser by nature, I think. I'm trying to work on it, but I know it keeps coming up.
Okay. So one of the things that I would tell you is that when you no longer need to do things to prove yourself worthy, then you will no longer be afraid to ask what you need.
Okay.
So right now you're thinking in some ways you have to prove to them first that you're really good so that it decreases the risk that you might take in them saying no. But the worst that can happen is they say no, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And what will happen to you if they say no?
Well, then maybe I need to rethink. Maybe I need to talk about that I'm not doing certain parts of the job then,
That's right.
Maybe I have to, stick up for myself like that, right?
Right. So
okay,
So if you could be your own best friend walking in the door, and your best friend would say, go for it, you're really good, you're working hard, you're a good worker, right?
Right. I think it's easier for me to support other friends than it is myself, sometimes.
Okay. All right. But here you are in your life needing your own best friend and to be your own best friend.
Yes.
Act as if you are worthy.
Okay. You gotta fake it till you make it.
Yes, exactly. The goal is to face your fear and do it anyway. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. Hi, this is Kim Taylor, and we're going to go to an email. I have one here from Kristen. She says, my husband and I have been married for 3 years. We met in college and dated for 2 years before we got married. But here's the problem. For the last 4 months, I cannot stop thinking about my ex-boyfriend. I cannot for the life of me understand why my ex is taking up so much space in my head. We fought all the time, and I think he actually brought out the worst in me. But for some reason, I'm really missing the intensity of that relationship. What's wrong with me? I love my husband. I never loved my ex. I feel safe here, and I hope to have children soon. Why am I entertaining thoughts and fantasies about an ex-boyfriend who I know would not be good for me? So, Christian, first I would say to you, I wonder what happened 4 months ago, because you said that for the last 4 months you have been thinking about this. So I would ask you to think about, was there something that happened between you and your husband where you were disappointed, where you feel he didn't support you in the way that you might have wanted him to? Because it sounds like you're missing the support or the love from your husband right now, and you really need to tell him how it is that you're feeling. You say it's not that you want your ex, but you are missing the feeling and that intensity of being loved, supported, and all of that attention. And you want to feel special and cared about by your husband. So you're going to have to ask for what you need. You're going to have to express your hurt and open up to him to make your marriage more open, and tell him what he needs to do or what it is that you're wanting him to do that will make you feel special. But if you ignore the importance of your own needs, it's just too easy for others to try to ignore them too. Good luck with that. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290.
You are listening to Dr. Kimberly Taylor. You can reach her by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290.
Hi, this is Kimberly Taylor, and we're back with Matt. Hi, Matt. How can I help
Hi.
you today?
Well, I have a question. I have a 23, almost 24-year-old son that moved back in with me and my wife, and he just seems like he's in a rut and maybe depressed, and he just won't open up and talk. And I've tried over and over to try and talk to him, and he knows I care about him, but he just won't open up. And he has issues that I think that go back quite a ways, but he just won't talk. And I'm just wondering how I can get him to open up a little bit.
Okay. And why did he move back in?
Well, probably just financial reasons, and
Okay.
no place to live, I guess.
Okay. And does he work?
Not currently, no. He has up to a couple weeks ago, and now he's not.
Okay. And how long do you feel like he has been depressed?
I think it's going back. I've noticed maybe 2 or 3 years, really.
Okay. So this has been ongoing.
Yes.
Okay. And why is he currently not working?
He just got laid off from his job.
Okay. All right.
But he's not currently looking either. He's not really actively looking for a job. And I don't know why.
Okay. And what is his plan? Does he have a plan? So when he moved back in, was there a plan about how long he would be there, or?
No. It's really hard for him to talk to me, and we have no plan. He has no plan.
Okay. So at this point in time, what is he doing all day?
Sits around and sleeps, and just mopes around. He doesn't do a whole lot right now.
Okay.
He has most of his friends where he used to live, but that's too far to drive, and he has no friends in the area.
Okay. So it sounds like we really need to light a fire under him. What are the consequences of him not having a job, sleeping all day, and lounging around? Have you kind of set down some rules and said by such and such a time you either need to get a job, or has that happened?
No.
How come?
I think it's just too hard for me to confront him about that.
Okay, but I don't think that you're really helping him, because the underlying message is, I don't think that you can do this either, and so I'm not going to ask more of you. And is that really true?
Yeah.
Yes, that you don't think he can do better, or yes, that you're afraid to push him?
I'm more of afraid to push him, I think.
Okay, what do you think might happen if you pushed him?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Well, the truth is that you're probably not going to know until you set some of those boundaries, so that he knows that he can only go so far, and then there's going to be some boundaries there, because we don't really know who we are until we are challenged by something, and that's what the boundaries would do.
Uh-huh.
When you say that you feel like he's been more or less depressed for 2 to 3 years, was there something specific that happened 2 or 3 years ago?
No, I mean, he's had a couple of deaths in the family, and he's taken that pretty hard. But and he had a rough growing up with his real mom. She had a lot of problems. But I think it's just stuff that built up and maybe just hit the surface then. Okay.
So he may be having a lot of feelings about that. He may still be grieving. It could be possible that he is depressed, especially if it's gone on for 2 or 3 years, that you feel like he isn't getting it together. The fact that he's currently not working, that can help to make him not feel good about himself and just add to this at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
You said you've tried to talk to him.
Yeah, quite a bit, and he just won't open up. I said, "Are you depressed? Do you feel depressed?" And he says no, and I've even offered to take him to counseling, and he just doesn't think he needs that and doesn't want to go.
Okay, but he is 23 years old, and you are his dad. And I would suggest that you actually tell him that you actually have a few more years on you. You know that what he's going through is not what he's supposed to be going through at 23 years old. That even if he doesn't see there is a problem, you know that there is.
Okay.
Because this isn't what 23-year-olds are doing, is wanting to be living at home, not working, not having money, not being able to see their friends. So I think it would be important that you tell him at this time that it is time to go and seek some help, to, if he can't talk to you, that he can talk to someone else. And to not let it go on, because the worst thing is if you let it just go on and on, even if he didn't start out depressed, he will become depressed because he's not having any motivation to do anything. He's not being challenged. He's not looking forward to anything right now.
Yeah, but how can you get him to go if he doesn't want to go?
Tell him that that's the prereq to living at home.
Okay.
Because that's where you have to set those boundaries, to really tell him that you believe that he can work this through. You believe in him and you support him in finding the help that he needs at this time if he's not able to talk to you.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll give it a shot.
All right, Matt. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Depression can hit anybody at any age. It's kind of like feeling like all of a sudden your life is just in slow motion. It's somewhat like thinking walking through molasses would feel like this. Oftentimes, though, it's the person who is depressed that is the last to know. It's rather like having a balloon that you have this very small leak. So all of a sudden you just have less energy, less excitement, less motivation. You might be sleeping more, eating more, just tired. But it is the people around you who notice that, hey, something is different. You don't have the spark in your eye. You used to be this, but you're no longer that. And it's important to listen to what other people around you also say as a barometer of whether or not you might be depressed. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. This is Kim Taylor. We're on the phone now with Doug. Hi, Doug.
Hello, Dr. Kim.
What's on your mind?
Well, I've been going through a lot of emotional turmoil for the last month or so. Basically, my sister died a few months ago, and I've been dealing with my brother-in-law, with whom I've never really gotten along very well, and my niece, and she and I have also had ups and downs. And because of some of the intricacies of following through on my sister's wishes, both of these people have been put in a position of power to make decisions that are extremely contrary to what my sister had told me and what had been set forth in some of the paperwork. They've been able to countermand basically what my sister had intended happen. I did, in a real gentle way, point out to my niece that this whole thing was a question of morality and ethics, and I really needed her to follow through on what my sister wanted.
Okay.
And thus far, there has been no follow through. In fact, there's been a strengthening of their position to where I had to decide whether to go after them legally or not. Mm-hmm. I elected not to, and the turmoil that I'm having, and I just can't really resolve it very well, is whether or not to kiss him off. Mm-hmm. The brother-in-law I've never been very fond of, but he's 81 years old, and to inject a whole bunch of turmoil is not the kind of an end-of-life situation that I'm sure anybody would want, but
okay.
In my mind it's kind of black and white.
Doug, what makes you feel like her husband and her daughter didn't know what was in her best interests, or that they are not following what her wishes are?
Again, because of the intricacies of the legalities, they were able to become the trustees of the will and overturn what in the will my sister had wanted to happen. And it's also her niece, not her daughter. So it's her husband and her niece.
Okay.
So they have basically cut me out of what was intended by my sister to be equally shared between my niece and me. Mm-hmm. The brother-in-law is taken care of for 3 lifetimes. He doesn't have any financial issues at all. Mm-hmm. And this was just a lovely gift that my sister had intended on giving me. Mm-hmm. And once the legalities changed, they were able to circumvent that.
Okay,
as I say, the only thing I've done is I've pointed out to my niece that we're dealing with ethics and morality here.
Okay. And have you sat down with your brother-in-law?
I have not.
Okay.
I have spared him any kind of stress.
Okay, but you are definitely feeling the stress. So what this means is that she had wanted you to have something, and that they have cut you out from all of that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and is this just a monetary, or is it things that are meaningful to you?
It is strictly monetary at this point.
Okay.
I have the keepsakes and my parents' stuff.
Okay, and why do you think that they have cut you out?
Sheer greed. They're both very well off. My niece is a doctor, and I've just seen her go through a lot of money, but there's never enough.
Okay, but it sounds like you've never had a good place with your brother-in-law or this niece that you could actually really sit down and talk to them about how you're feeling about this and ask them why this is happening or what it is that is behind what they're doing.
I think that's the case with my brother-in-law. I don't want to stress him out, and I have to decide whether I should.
What does that mean that you don't want to stress him out? Why would he be stressed?
Because he knows what he's done. He's completely countermanded my sister's wishes.
So what you're saying is that you feel like he doesn't care about what your sister wanted, and therefore he doesn't care about his wife, your sister.
I think he's gotten past that point. I think all he's interested in is keeping as much money as he can.
Okay.
And regarding my niece, I did have a very good relationship with her, and that did go downhill separate from this situation. So we kind of came back together to help my sister in her cancer. But now that that's done, she has very clearly decided, she would rather have the money than share it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the
issue to me is whether or not to cause a big family row.
Okay, and to do that, you would probably have to get lawyers involved, and it would be whether you're willing to do that.
I already elected not to do that.
Okay,
I was told by 2 attorneys that I should, but I did not.
Okay, so they have made their choice that
yes.
The money is more important than following the wishes of your sister and having any kind of relationship with you. They've made their choice. It looks like you're going to have to make yours too.
Well, I think because I haven't brought it up, they feel like as superficial as it is, they have the relationship that they want. It's somewhat distant. It's somewhat it's courteous, but there's nothing close about it.
Okay.
So in my mind, they've traded. They feel that they can just keep things as it is without my bringing up anything.
Okay. Well, then I think that it looks that is all that you can do. If you're not willing to take the action by going to a lawyer, that you're going to have to let go of that.
Mm-hmm.
There is no other choice, or else you're just going to stay angry at them, and this is going to fester on with you. This is what happens in a lot of families when there is money involved. So we actually need to go to break. I'm Kim Taylor, and we'll be right back with you. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290.
You are listening to Dr. Kimberly Taylor. You can reach her by calling 564-1290 or toll-free at 866-564-1290.
Okay, we're coming to the close. We had the case of Charlie, who needed to really look at that old friendship and to make a decision about what he needed to do about that. He definitely needed to make a change. And then we were talking about Sally, where she too needed to make a change or to go in and talk to her bosses and be willing to be brave enough to risk that. Whatever it is that you're facing, focus on taking the first baby steps and know that the next step and then the next will reveal itself to you along the way. Taking the small steps will help keep that forward momentum going, and soon you will have made the transition and begin to reap the benefits of the change and to recognize them for the gifts that they can bring. Because with each transition, we must learn new ways of coping as it tests our ability to adapt and grow. The ability to make transitions successfully allows you to live more fully in the here and now and leads to a more satisfying and fulfilling life. What is for certain is that all of us are going to be forced to adapt to change throughout our lives. That is guaranteed. So I want to thank you for being with us. I will be here with you next Thursday live from 2 to 3 p.m. That's where you're going to be able to catch me here, and I welcome your calls. You can also send your email questions, and I will be answering some of them on air. You can send them to Dr. Kim at drkimtaylorshow.com. You can also listen to the program live on the internet by going to my website at drkimtaylorshow.com. And don't forget to listen to the rebroadcast Thursday evenings at 10 p.m. and Sundays at noon. If you are listening to this broadcast or this rebroadcast, thanks for being here, and I hope that you are enjoying the program, and I invite you to call in Thursdays between 2 and 3 when I will be live.